sheriff's trying to shoot me.
Just want to take your guns is all.
You made a mistake pulling that gun on a man like me. There was no reason in the world to do it.
Anthony Mann's A Tin Star opens with a really great scene. The camera tracking across the street to where a cowboy is trudging his weary way into town. He's got a pack horse with him and what looks like a mail sack draped across the horse's back. The camera glides over and we see a dead man's hand as it dangles limply by the horse's side. A weathered and dusty Henry Fonda gets off his horse. It's a great scene. He's seasoned bounty hunter Mark Hickman, and he's come to claim his bounty on the outlaw he's just killed. It's a wonderful opening scene. Fonda looks suitably weary and furrowed in his features. The aging cowboy who's got a life of experience written all over his face. He heads into the sheriff's office and is taken aback at the fresh-faced young man sporting a sheriff's badge. Ben Owens, a very young-looking Anthony Perkins, has been elected temporary sheriff by the good townsfolk after the real sheriff was blown away. Perkins is a novice, completely out of his depth, with the office and his gun. He's overly eager, stubborn, with a strong sense of moral justice. A dangerous package that will probably get him killed sooner rather than later. Fonda, who is met with suspicion and disdain by the townsfolk because he's a bounty hunter, is keen to leave but can't until he gets his claim signed. In a funny scene when the shooting starts across the street and Perkins heads for the door, Fonda shouts after him, "Sign my claim first." It's a comic moment. There's some wonderful dialogue and great moments in this wonderfully written Western movie. Tin Star is essentially a two-man show, but what a show of acting it is. Perkins, in one of his first leading roles, who I had only associated with Psycho and Catch-22, is totally convincing as a model, stubborn idealist who's being used by the cowardly townsfolk as a stopgap. It's a beautiful, nuanced performance by a young actor of real maturity. Fonda is equally good as the aging, cynical cowboy who blames himself and the badge for losing the most precious things in his life. His seasoned features speak of a wealth of raw experience and trauma. A wonderful acting performance. After finding lodging with another town outsider, Nona Mayfield, whose half-Indian son Pip makes her a target of prejudice, Fonda reluctantly sets about training his greenhorn sheriff prodigy with the necessary gun and people skills to keep him alive long enough to get his claim signed. Some terrific tutor-pupil scenes ensue. Being based on a short story, the plot here is predictably thin. A favoured citizen of the town is killed in cold blood, and an angry posse led by troublemaker Neville Brand is set on lynching the main suspects who are in the sheriff's custody. Has the sheriff learned enough in the past few days to keep the job, and more importantly, stay alive? Meanwhile, a suffering Fonda is looking at possible new horizons with Nina and Kip. So Tin Star may be a little shy of being a classic due to a lack of a great story and a slightly weak ending, in my view, but it's still a beautifully filmed black and white Western with a terrific script and two winning central performances. A really good Western movie. I give it 7.5 stars out of 10. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.